Hello, welcome back to another week of Primo Calcio. We're going to be following match day 26 of the Serie A. I'm Michael here with Anthony. How are you
Hey,
this fine match day?
I'm
Fine match
depressed.
day.
Sad time. Sad time.
Yeah, it's a pretty jacked up week. Follows the theme that nobody really wants to win it.
Eh,
A lot of teams dropped some big points here. A lot of teams could have capitalized and didn't. And some teams are on a little bit of a roll. So let's start at the top. Udinese
Yeah.
versus Lecce. Unique, interesting game. I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw the big moments. The big drama here was Luca taking the PK away from Tovan. Um, I don't necessarily agree with that. When you got a hierarchy, you got one. Either way, he did bury it, and who knows? Now there's all this chat about though they want to get rid of him because he's not following rules. That's fine. I mean, I think he was always going to leave in summer anyways. Price will probably be somewhere around 30 or so mil. But Udinese, kind of a middling team, middling results. Not as much to say there besides the usual suspect looked good for them. So
How many goals does Luca have right now?
I will look it up
I'm curious because he's got 10. Okay.
this season.
Yeah, 10 goals. And how many does Tavan have?
I don't know. I'm not
Because
sure how much time
if
Taban has. I'll look it up now.
yeah, if Tavan's the guy who takes the kicks, he takes the kicks. Sorry. I don't care how hungry you are to score a
Taban
goal
has
to get a
six.
free goal.
Taban has six. Luca has 10. Luca's a striker. That's a lot of goals for a winger. Six. I mean, like so. I mean, really, like
Yeah.
yeah, it's wrong for Luca to have done that. That's
Yeah.
that's that's
It's
baby boy mentality. These guys need to
It
grow
is.
up.
It's bitch. They're all just bitch boys, man. These guys. It's hard to like any of these players.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, and this has come from us who like Luca, right? He's young, he's promising,
Yeah.
he's an Italian, he's somebody who we want to do well. But it doesn't even matter. This is it's the wrong thing. I'm not going to give him bonus points because I like him. That was the wrong
It's
choice.
bitch boy behavior.
Yeah, you give
I
it to
mean,
the
just call it
captain.
like I see it.
Yeah, you follow the coach, give it to the captain, play a role.
Yeah. This was the
Um,
this was the issue with with Lukeman too. I mean, the coach has his role. That's what you do, and
yep,
that's how it works. You respect that, or you get the fuck out.
happened at Milan too. Back a little while ago. Not it's been a few months from now, but back when they had was it Tammy took it and like
Ooh,
Tamori
Tammy.
and somebody else were like holding the ball up and it should have been Pulisic, and until Pulisic's last penalty he hadn't missed a single PK for both club and country, so that's the guy you give it to. Even this last one, which we'll talk about this game, was a great penalty. Like the guy's good at him. So it's this happens all the time this year. I don't know what's up with this year and people are just kind of like disobeying orders, but it is what it is. All right, next match is going to be Parma versus Bologna. I never would have seen Parma tying
Yeah.
and even winning against Bologna. Bologna did have 16 shots, 75% possession. Doesn't matter. They have really struggled. Bologna has not been able to really like fully dominate a game yet, and when they could make up points, they have not been doing it. So they have been sputtering. 2-0
Well,
Parma.
I think the thing with Bologna is the beginning of the season we were given, and it was right, it was deserved. We're giving Italiano credit for, turning that team and doing well with that team, climbing through because they replaced all their best
Yeah,
players and they had a tricky situation with Champions League, and they're certainly not up to snuff for that. The problem is they never actually improved from inconsistent team that's doing pretty good in building. They're still inconsistent. They're still pretty good. I don't know. You can't say they're building anymore. Just maybe this is all they are, just inconsistent, sloppy team. I don't know. I mean, Italiano's he cannot defend. Him and like Gasperini just refuse to do it. I don't know. I definitely I'm not super surprised by this. The biggest shocker here is the shutout.
yeah, I know. Like, I mean, you could maybe see Parma sneaking away with like a last minute draw, or like maybe they could win it. But I
Mhm.
mean, 2-0,
I think we
like
said this was going to be a
that's
messy one
that's a
last
lot, man.
week.
I mean,
Yeah,
where's
I
Parma at in the actual standings? They're down at, oh my god, they had 23 points. So Parma, by winning
yeah.
this game, they were in 18th. They would have 20. They beat in the drop zone. So this is like a team who's lost their past four matches in a row. And then Bologna is trying to climb up the table. They're in a battle with Milan, Fiorentina, and Lazio and Juve for that top five, 4, 5, 6 for Europe, and they just crap in the bed, just like a ton of other teams
It's
we're about to discuss. But
Yeah, I mean, this has just been the theme of Serie A. It's like just missed opportunities, lack of class, lack of a willingness, a desire to win, to earn it. It's all these
yeah,
teams are just failing.
Everybody's
It's like
just beating
who's
each other
failing
up.
the least. This
Exactly.
is probably it, and it's exciting because it's all tightly, tightly knit. All the teams are close together, but it's not because of excellence. It's just because of ineptitude. It's really there's everyone's just bad, and this is the most down year of Serie A I think I've ever seen.
I
I
don't
mean,
know
there's like
about ever, but like I will say, like
I've ever seen.
the top teams to me just don't really seem like top teams. Like
Yeah,
it's all very,
they're
very
not.
level. Like any team can beat any team. Yes, if Inter is like on their actual day and they're on form, they're probably the team who you feel most confident with winning something. However, they've been off a lot too. I mean, if you look at their last 5 matches, they have 2 losses, 2 wins, and a draw. Like that's Inter the past 5 matches. So like
I mean,
pretty rough.
Inter's been the class of Serie A for how many years now? They have what? Inzaghi's got one title to show for it. I mean, it's been his to lose all year, and he's done everything in his power to lose the Scudetto, and
I mean,
Napoli
nobody can
can't
take
do
it from them. Yep.
anything right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean they
the
just
past 4
can't.
matches have been damning for Napoli. I
Yeah,
mean, 3 draws and a loss the past 4.
yeah. Well, and this is usually when his teams kick into high gear. They really needed that. We should talk about it when we get there. But
Yeah,
they
we'll
really
talk about
needed
it
that
there, but
investment. I'm definitely wrong about that. They needed an investment. It's showing. It's just ugly. It's bad.
let's go
Wrong time for
to
injuries too.
well, to kind of continue the theme, Venezia, Lazio. Lazio has everything to play for right now. They're strongly in that kind of top 4 scene right now, and I don't think they're favored to kind of qualify for it because there's a couple of teams breathing down their necks, but they really could have put a little bit of a daylight between them here. Venezia is
Oh yeah.
not a good team. Venezia is in 19th place. They have 17 points on the year, and Lazio ties them zero
Yeah.
zero. I mean, like,
No Rovella, no Castellanos, and I mean
right?
I don't know what's up with. I know Rovella's out on yellow cards, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
But they're an entirely different team without him. They suck without Rovella. And then Castellanos is another big loss too. He's one of their more creative forces.
Yeah, it's because
I
he
don't.
doesn't just bag goals. He creates, he passes, he works hard. Like he's very, very important for that front line.
Well, his work rate is better than his goal scoring, no doubt.
Yeah, his work rate's
I think
awesome.
it's more. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's.
Noslin
I mean,
and Dia just don't have it. I mean, honestly, like
no.
Isaacson and Zakanya are more threatening than those guys are, and those guys are wingers. So I mean, it's like those two up top, Noslin and Dia, they just don't have it. You'd think they're
Yeah.
okay. I think Pedro actually looks pretty dangerous here when he was on, but I mean, they don't have it.
The problem with
Lazio does just
Noslin and
not have
Dia
it.
is they have their moments. They both have their moments. Like
Yeah.
one, like they'll have like a 5 or 10 minute run in a game where they just look amazing, and then they just disappear for like 3 games again. That's just a sign of a bad player. I mean, class is consistency. Any of these players at this level should be able to play at a high level. The guys that can do it week in and week out, every freaking match, those are your true class players. That's why there's so few of them left anymore. It seems like none of these players have any work ethic and any intensity, any passion. It's just they just have a bunch of raw talent, and every once in a while it gets shown, and then it fades back into the abyss, and maybe it pops its head up again once in a while, and then we all gush over it and say, "See, I told you he was good."
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
the main thing here is Lazio really struggles in the midfield without Rovella, and they really struggle up
yeah,
top without Castellanos.
yeah. I think Rebel is amazing for this team. He needs to get back quick. That was about even without those guys, they should beat that team. They just have no idea what to
Oh
do
yeah.
without those guys.
Right,
Let's get to your
so
boys here.
next we get to AC Milan. This is after seeing a couple teams, fail and saying, all right, we
Yeah,
can actually pick up some points on people. So all the motivation is there. Like, okay, like we got a chance. Like Bologna, we can kind of put them in the dust, create a little bit of daylight before we have to play them. We can actually, move forward a little bit. In the table, Lazio tied, so they're like, all right, we can catch both these two teams, right? And then Milan just lays a dump. Like they didn't just tie, they lose. So I mean, it's
yeah. I mean,
they just don't want to win or come up with the goods. Um, Magnan had another blooper. He like kicked it off of a Chiao and it bounced
ridiculous.
in the goal. I mean, that's just bad
He's
communication.
he's done, dude. He's this guy is. You could just from the shit he's done this year, you could at least make a comedy reel. It's
He's cost so many
sell his
points.
ass, dude.
And my favorite part is, I said this from a long time ago to people who thought this was a good idea. This is not your captain. This isn't captain material. Because he makes nice scowly faces and looks serious does not mean he's a captain. What about him tells you he's
What
a
the hell they're
captain?
talking about?
Like goalie is very rare anyways if they're a captain. They have to have a remarkable character like Buffon or something like that. You're gonna give it
Yeah,
to Mike Magnan? I don't know. It makes no sense to me at all. I think he doesn't
Lone true
deserve to be
world class
captain.
player, year in, year out, solid fucking human,
Yeah,
most consistent. Yeah, that's a captain. This fucking guy, I mean, just because he's a good player doesn't mean he's a captain. Come
no,
on, man. And
it's
he
weird.
hasn't been good this year.
No, and what has
There's
he done to stabilize the team since his captaincy? Everybody was bitching about Calabria being captain. I see no difference. Listen, I don't think Calabria was, he's not a captain I
who
would
was the
choose.
captain when they won?
Romagnoli and then Calabria. So Romagnoli
There you
mainly, but
go.
then when he was off, it was Calabria. It's like great, but I mean, at least won something with it. Like Magnan hasn't changed the mentality of the team. Making him captain proves nothing. Honestly, I feel like that C on people's shirts, unless they have a remarkable character, means nothing. The guys are still gonna do what they want to do. So,
No, it's just a little notch on their belts, and they can brag about it on Instagram. That's it.
Milan once again had a starting lineup of 0 Italians. Obviously, it's going really well
What
for
could it
them.
be? I
Yeah,
wonder why they're.
it's going
Yeah,
great for them.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Gosh, just your team of prostitutes isn't performing.
No,
Amazing.
it's
Wow.
basically Serie A marketing. So they're a marketing
Gotcha.
firm.
Well, we
The
did establish in that What's Wrong with Milan that they are winning Serie A because they are making more money than the other teams.
Yeah, yeah, they're winning. They're winning the marketing. I mean, hey, they released
That's
that
what they care
disgusting
about.
jersey and it made fire sales. So, I
I
mean,
mean, that's what the owners care about. So technically, they're kicking ass. They're on track. But if they don't
right.
qualify for Europe, they're fucked.
That's
Yeah.
it. So all they had
But
to
you know what
do
they'll
is
do?
qualify top four. That's it, and that should be pretty
That's
easy
not true.
given the guys they have.
You know what they'll do? They'll fire sale. They'll find a way to make money with Conference League play, and
Yeah,
they'll come out
exactly.
next year with the most profits. So everyone else can suck it.
Yep. The goal one was we talked about them.
Amazing.
Goal two or option or opportunity number two was a penalty. It was a PK, it was a handball. Pulisic, though, saying he hadn't missed a penalty for club and country. I mean, it's a really good shot. It's down low. It's in the corner. But Milinkovic Savic is
Savage
probably
is
the
awesome.
best PK stopper in Serie A. Guy's awesome. So got to give him
Garbage.
credit there. I mean, were you able to see the match at all?
We watched it together, baby. You were here.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were there. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
we were
mean,
high fiving, and
I thought it was a little bit weird when
we were so excited about. We were cheering. You remember that? We were.
yeah,
It was
right.
so memorable that you remembered.
Yeah, it's such a
'Cause these games
memorable
are
game.
just so
I
great
feel
to
so
watch
much
now.
passion every time I watch this team because it's a new player every 6 months.
Yeah,
They have zero connection to the badge. Yeah, I believe me, I get really excited. I thought it
yeah.
was
I
strange
feel the same
though
way.
when Torino subbed off both Casade and Ricci, who I thought did a very good job at controlling
Yeah.
their midfield when they were up 1-0. And then maybe that wasn't like the direct reason, but Milan did score right after that. And one of the subs they put on was I think his name is Valukovic, and he was actually supposed to be the one at least coming close to marking Reinders. So bad call on when I think it's Paolo who's the coach of Torino. Bad call on his part
I think it's a really bad idea to replace your midfield at any
entirely
point
too.
in the match, especially all in one shot. I think going a player at a time here and there is okay. But in a tight game like that, I mean, you're up against Milan. Why the hell would you do that?
Yeah, you really
These guys
just want
can't
want to
play a
keep it
whole
civil.
game.
No,
They
I
couldn't
think
play
it's
10 more
because they
minutes.
try to be crafty and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Ricci's got a yellow
Yeah.
card. Let's get him off so he red carded."
Oh,
That's great, but why would you change
okay.
Casade too? Keep one
Right.
person on him, and you can't change the whole function of your midfield. But either way, they got scored
Constantine was
on.
playing well.
I thought that was it. I thought, all right, is gonna come back now. They got I don't know, it's probably 25 minutes to come back and get one more goal. They didn't, and instead, Torino actually scores. I think it came off a very quick like free kick, and Milan was just caught sleeping. People will say it was a little bit dirty because it was taken quick. No, there's nothing dirty about that. They knew the foul. They knew what was happening. Milan defenders were sleeping, and Ganetes put it in. That's
Were
it.
they crying or sleeping?
Yeah, right. Probably both.
Because, yeah.
Well, so Chow was up because he was one making the challenge, and he didn't back up in time. Fofana looked like he was going to try to cover for him, but he didn't get there in time, and that was it.
How do you not like? How do you just not give a shit?
A lot of people are caught sleeping. I think that's the thing. I'm Milan. They just their carrying
Just who
level
gives a shit?
is relatively low. Their talent level individually is great. The carrying level is
Of
low.
course.
So, all right, we move on to
Well,
Inter, who actually gained some points.
yeah.
1-0 Inter Genoa. Lautaro
Close
Martinez.
game, man. Good game. This was a good game.
Yeah, I mean, Vieira has got Genoa playing very well, and that
Yeah.
game was close the entire time.
Yep.
And then Inter just had one piece of quality from Lautaro.
Yep.
I wouldn't say he's back fully, but the past, this half of the season, he's been looking way more like the player that we all know he is. Probably since January 1st.
It was a captain's goal.
Yeah, this is like an ugly game that a team who's going to do something has to win.
Yep.
These are like those points you have to grind out, and Inter was one of the few teams that did it.
Yep. It was the game was getting into that point where you're like, I don't know if Inter's going to be able to get that dirty goal, and right when you start thinking that, boom, they get it and they take the game.
Yep.
Yeah, this is how you win Serie A titles. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Clean sheets, dirty goals, 1-0 wins, and people can cry and whine and bitch about it and say whatever they want. But we're going to get I'm going to conclude this point when we talk about Napoli. But this is how you win Serie A. You get clean sheets and you get dirty goals in games just like this.
Yep. No, this
That's how
is
it's done.
everything. It's beating those kind of mid and smaller teams and winning these games, these close games. Like, I mean, 1 point versus 3 points is a massive, massive difference. And it's everything. Really, it is.
But you got to lock it down. And that leads into the very next game is Napoli and
Yeah.
Como. We thought this was a trap game all the way.
Como
And
has
sure
been playing
enough, it
great,
was.
and Napoli's been really struggling. So this I thought was going to be like a draw. I think that was my prediction was
Yeah.
a draw.
Sure. What I didn't expect was Rachmani to be a moron. I mean,
Yeah, it
that's
was
just so
wild.
dumb.
Just
He was
open your
bad
eyes,
all
man.
game.
Yeah.
He's bad. He's been bad. And usually in that three-man back line, you put your dumbest guy in the middle, and he's okay. He's safer that way. It's like, hey, you don't have to make too many decisions. You kind of know your role, your job. It's quite basic. And wow, was it tough for him, boy. Yeah, he was really struggling all game, and I don't know why that's more difficult for him there than it was from the 4-3-3. Or maybe it's just a symptom of all the other things. But yeah, I mean, Napoli haven't had a clean sheet in a long time. They went from being the best defense in
Yes.
Serie A, having the most clean sheets, and I don't know if they're still the best defense or not, but they're not getting a clean sheet. They haven't had a clean sheet in a while.
No.
Actually, since the Buongiorno injury, they haven't had a clean sheet since he originally got injured. He's been back. This was I think, his first game back fully. Yeah, I don't know.
Yep. I mean, the
It's
goal
ugly.
from that Napoli was nice. A really good work from Labotte could have won the goal, and then Raspadori just tracked it the whole way. He didn't give up on the play, and then just buried very nicely. Napoli had their
He's
chances.
been good.
McTominay has a good one, and Butte was going away from it, but he still was able to save it with the palm. So I mean, the Napoli had their chances, but
Yeah.
one team finished and the other team did not.
Yeah, I mean, just it wasn't too long ago. Napoli were really on fire and absolutely dominating these kinds of games. Neres, his leg must be falling off his body right now to not be out there playing for his fucking team. Your team is in a vicious title fight right now, and he's sitting out with a muscular injury. I want to know what muscle it is.
Yeah, I mean they need him bad. And this is
The
something that
labia
we're about to
majora.
talk about with this was that we needed Napoli to have an investment in order to have them be take it to Inter and actually continue this. But without that, now just a couple injuries or a player out here and there is making a massive difference.
It is.
Lukaku is not performing like he can, and so with him being down, with Politano just being Politano, who's good but he's not great, and not having that left wing, it's really killing him. So.
They're not. They're just not commanding the game like they were. It definitely, the whole game from start to finish feels
Mm-hmm.
scary. The whole time it feels like they're not in control anymore. Where there was, even at the very beginning of the season, when they were locking things down, they were in control. They were locked down. They were taking care of business, hitting on the counterattack. They had an identity. Then
Yeah,
they
they've been
started to get
letting
a
a
little bit
lot of late
more.
game goals slip through them.
Yeah, they started to really control the game more and more and more, and started to take over. It was like a steamrolling effect. Man, I don't know what happened, but it's a complete implosion.
Yep.
And Conte's got his work cut out for him. I mean, this is a 10th place team from last year. This is a team with a bunch of people who were whining and bitching and causing problems and wanting to leave the club. And man, if he doesn't wrangle this up, this could be a huge, huge issue.
Yeah, I mean
Compounded by
they
the
could
fact that they
really
didn't
fall
invest.
fast. They really could fall
Yeah.
fast. I mean they're doing okay right now, and fortunately, like for them, there's a big gap between them and Juve in fourth place. I mean, it looks like the three teams have a decent lead, but I mean there's still 12 games left.
There's 12 games. Yeah, it's a lot.
like 4 games go the same way the past 4 games go for Napoli. Napoli's probably sitting at the bottom of top four, hoping they can stay in. I mean, I know that's a bit dramatic, but I mean, anything's possible. The last 4 games have been 3 draws and a loss, so who knows?
Their, their saving grace here is every team throughout the course of the season has had struggles. Not like
Exactly.
mental struggles. They haven't had them yet. They've had their struggles with like their own team. I'm not talking about that, but they've had highs, but they haven't really had their lows. If this is their low point and they get through it, fine,
Hmm.
because their end of their seasons, all games they should win games. Those are all should win games. This next week, this game next week is everything. It truly is. I mean, it isn't, but it is to me because they're in a shitty spot right now. Inter's playing okay. They're grinding out dirty results, but they're not looking that great. Truly, they've stunk it up against some big teams too. They haven't beat Milan or Juventus all year. They drew Napoli. So if Napoli come here out, this weekend and stick it to Inter, I think it launches Napoli for the remaining 11 games after that.
Yep.
I really do. I think that's what they need. They need that marquee win to get back on the right track.
That's exactly right. They
Where
they
Inter, I
need
don't think it
something to
matters.
kind of exactly. And Inter could lose and then win. That they'd be kind of like relatively consistent, relatively inconsistent the whole season, but they're still going to be kind of battling for it. Napoli is really the one who needs a swing to go
Yeah.
their way.
I don't think Napoli come back from 4 points down.
No, I agree. They need to stay close, and then when Inter hits like these next rounds of Champions League, they may have a couple blips, and then Napoli has to take it then.
I don't buy the blip thing. I mean, people have been saying that since the beginning of the year. I've heard this in seasons past. Like these are professional athletes. It's 2 games a week. I was just telling
Doesn't
you on the
matter.
phone
It
earlier
it
today.
happens. It happens
I,
though.
I'm watching hockey. These guys play 3 games in 4 days, and they have to fly across the country to get there, across the states. I mean, just play the fucking games.
Yeah.
You're a professional athlete. You're in the prime of your life. You're in tip-top shape. You jog half the damn time. It's not that tough. Go fucking play. They're going to be fine, and it's almost better. I think you keep your rhythm going, man. I mean, if you're on track, you just go play. So I don't know. I don't think that. I think Inter have been pretty inconsistent, but when they're inconsistent, they still have a tight result. It's never a fucking blowout. So
No, and Inter's never gonna get smoked. They're always pretty damn inconsistent. I
they have the
mean,
quality.
yeah, they're always gonna be in it. It's really just more up to Napoli, and honestly, Atalanta is now within 3 points. They're back
Yeah,
in discussion. I thought they were out of discussion a little bit ago. They're
they
back in
should have been.
discussion. So,
They should have been, but neither Inter or Napoli want to win the Scudetto. They're trying to hand it just hot potato.
yep.
So
Now we
yeah,
move to another team who could have picked up points in a crucial top four and
Jesus.
top six race, and they dropped it again. And this is Fiorentina versus Verona. Verona is a bad team. Verona has 26 points now. They had at 23, they're
And
one
they
point above
leak
the drop
goals
zone.
too.
Yeah, Verona has one of the worst defenses out there. I mean, Verona's not a good team. Um, Fiorentina starts off with once again same formation, and I just don't love it. I don't love what they're doing. But at least they had Keane back for this one, which helps a lot. He looks pretty good. There was a weird update about his like eye
Yeah,
slash head
I'm
injury
I'm
where
I'm,
like
I'm reading it now.
yeah he came back and played of course and they like stitched it up and then he played but then eventually he got subbed out but then it looks like he went back to the
No,
hospital
he
afterwards
no he collapsed in the field.
after
He
that part because I didn't see the end of the
Yeah,
game.
and then he was stretchered off.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, he
I saw them. I think. Oh, you're right. He went back on. He went back on after they kind of fixed it, right? He had the thing above his eye, and then you're right. He laid back down and got stretchered off. That's right.
yeah.
Yeah, but they still had Ed Beltran, who actually was playing as a striker, which is probably where he should be. I just there's something
What
about
they
this
say was
formation that's
okay?
not doing it.
What did they say was wrong with him?
Keen?
Yeah, it's like nothing. It's apparently according to the medical thing. Like
I'm not sure. There was something about some people were tossing the word like coma around, but it didn't look like it. I mean, it didn't look like
really?
he was in it. They said he was
What the
like
hell's going on?
I think there's more worried about like a head injury, but let me read the medical thing right here. So, following a head injury, I don't think he was out of it though. So he was also discharged. He was discharged that the same overnight there. They did all the scans on him. It was all negative. No, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Honestly, I wasn't really too worried about that one. I mean, that's why I didn't really understand this. I thought he went back into the hospital. He didn't. So
I don't. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Okay, no, he's fine. I think they probably just took extra precaution because of Bove. That's all.
Okay.
I think that's actually what happened because of the like collapse. But we saw him go down. He didn't collapse. Like Bove collapsed. Like he lost
Yeah.
consciousness and collapsed. Keane just laid down. He did not actually collapse there from what I saw. So
Well, I'll tell you this. He got back to his defense, Ranieri and Camuzzo. Good. They let in one goal. Good. This Mandragora Cataldi midfield. We've been talking about this nonstop. Why?
yeah,
Why are we not seeing? You bought Fajoli. You bought Endure. Okay. You got Oddly, unless he's injured or something. I mean, what are we doing here? It's Hellas Verona. If there's any team that have at least
I
one of
don't
those
know.
guys be a possession-based guy, this is the game. It's I don't know, man, but this league is so bad right now. It's very frustrating. That's just a stupid lineup from Palladino. And then what the hell does Zaniolo ever do? I mean, Zaniolo, he was working out as a sub, doing his douchey shit against teams that, you know, eh, whatever.
I don't know. I
That
mean,
that's his
I think
spot.
Zaniolo has some good talent, right? I think he's fine. I think he should be a sub for sure. He is capable of starting games. Like I'm totally fine with that. But I mean, I've never loved him out wide. I don't think he's very effective out wide. I think back before he had his big injuries, he was an attacking midfielder. I think that's actually where he belongs,
Yes.
or like a second striker. I think the issues we know where these people should be playing, and the coaches never tend to do it, which is just a little bit ridiculous to me. I mean, that's just the same thing I've been giving Paul Dean a little bit of flack about Kolpani. Kolpani's a good player, but he's pretty limited. Like I don't believe he belongs out wide. And every
I don't
time
either.
every time they play him out wide, he's very ineffective. He's a waste of a player, and so he just doesn't play him anymore. He's just basically done. Like change the formation. It doesn't work for your midfield. It doesn't work for your attackers unless Keane's having an amazing game. Change the formation. Like
Well, I mean,
it's
it's
been
going to
enough
work
time
for
now.
Keane no matter what. I mean, Keane's playing well. Keane moves well. Keane doesn't have this problem. Like he gets isolated. Keane
Right.
Keane busts his ass. He's always going to get opportunities because of his work rate and his athleticism, his strength. I'm not worried about that. I mean,
Right.
I'm seeing a midfield, a central midfielder slash attacking midfielder as a left mid. I'm seeing like a second striker attacking midfielder out as a a right mid. Same thing we saw with I think you just mentioned his damn name, Kopani. I mean, I just see a bunch of guys out of position right now, and I'm going. I don't know what they're doing in the attack, and I know that the 3-man back line, the 3-4-2-1, didn't work like he ran at Monza. He's been trying to get it to work, and these guys just can't figure it out because it's just too complicated for their very sensitive brains. But something's going on right now with Palladino just does not have the right mix of players that he needs. He's just bringing guys in. I like the guys he's bringing in, but he's not putting them together right.
Yeah, he's
And
not put him in the right spot to me. I mean,
yeah,
and I think it's pretty dang obvious.
yeah,
I don't know.
every week's a different lineup. Every fucking week.
Yeah, he needs to find his lineup, his consistency, the guys that are his out and out starters, and where he wants them to play. Then you build that formation, and then you fit in your subs and say, all right, now maybe you aren't perfect, but I have most of my subs are where they should be, and then some of them had to play a different role. That's fine, but you need to build your team for your starting lineup. And it's definitely time that they do that. I was
Well, we
looking a
also
little
said at
more
the beginning of the
into. Go
season.
ahead.
We also said at the beginning of the season, this team does not have. It severely lacks leadership.
Big time. Big time. It doesn't
It's a
have like that, like
bunch
older,
of young
been there, done
players.
that guy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you got the head in that,
Which helps, but
and you
he's a
got
goalie. You need somebody on the
yeah,
actual pitch in like midfield or attack or something, or even defense.
yeah, yeah. And you got Cataldi, but he's brand new to the
He's
team.
Cataldi though. That's not like a guy who's been
Yeah,
there, done that ever. He's always
it's not
been
like
on a middling
yes.
Lazio. He's never won real stuff. So
Right, it's not like hey, this game's going poorly, but it's okay. We got Cataldi. We're still in it.
yeah, exactly. No, Fiorentina has so much potential on that team, and
Yeah,
they're really good quality players. They need a guy like that. Like, could you imagine if like I'm not gonna knock Beltran, but I'm looking at their starting lineup. Could you imagine if either Beltran or Cataldi, like one of those two spots, were a been there, done that, known quantity? That would change
right.
their whole thing, her whole game,
That's
big time.
exactly what they need. Absolutely, no doubt about it. They definitely. I don't know where Goodmanson was this game. Um,
Yeah, I think he's out again, but he's huge for the lineup. I mean, when they have Goodmanson and Keane, they look a much better team, and then it's just the midfield that needs fixing.
He wasn't even on the bench today.
Yeah,
Goodness.
so I'm sure something's happened. Either yellow cords or injury. I'm not sure. I did look up a little more into the Moise Keane thing. They were concerned about concussion, so that's why they rushed him. So
Okay.
all right, let's move forth. So we have Empoli versus Atalanta. Atalanta's been one of those
Yeah.
other teams that's been kind of crapping the bed recently, but this game was a statement win, 5-0. Empoli has been, in my opinion, every time I see them, they have been the defensive disaster class of the past 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
And so you put Atalanta, who scores a ton of goals against Empoli, it was always bound to happen. And there you
Yes.
go, 5-0.
Yeah. Always gonna be a bad mix there for Empoli.
And look who they're playing though. Empoli's center defense, the three-man defense is Gogo Kidze, Sabo Gogo Kidze, and then have DeShilio as your middle center back, and then Liberato Kakache at your left center back. Like
Yeah.
this is not good. No, I mean Kakache's okay. The other two should not be there. DeShilio's fine as a side back. He really shouldn't be playing a central center back. Like this is bad.
Yeah, that's
That's bad.
oof. Yeah, I feel bad for that team when they had to start with that line as that defensive lineup.
Yeah, like they had
If you don't have enough center backs, maybe run a different formation, guy. I mean,
yeah, run two. You know, if you don't have enough to run three, run two. It's got to be better than running that. So that was always
yeah.
going to happen. I mean, come on, the team is pretty rough right now. They didn't have Colombo in. They subbed him on. They decided to run Kwame. I think Kwame's never done anything. He was on Fiorentina in the past, I believe, right?
Yeah.
I think he's never done anything for any team, so I don't think that was a good signing at all. Yeah, I would continue to run Esposito and Colombo as they're actually getting some results. So
Yeah, I agree. I don't. Yeah, Kwame has never been a difference maker.
never. All right. Cagliari, Juve, another team who you never know what they're going to do. They've been on a little bit of a streak here and a tight win, a 12-minute goal from Dusan Vlahovic, and that was it. That was all that
All
they
you need.
needed. They actually did finally lock down a game, and they didn't get scored on in
Yes.
the last 25, 30 minutes, which is
This is.
that's a big change for me. That's a big change for Juve. That was ruining their whole season, for the past few
Well,
months.
at the beginning of the season and towards the middle of the season, this is how we did things. The problem was we weren't getting that goal. It was a 0-0 draw or it was 1-1. It was always a tight game like that, but we'd always give up too many. And then we started giving up too many goals because we started trying to get more adventurous and get that second goal.
Yes.
This is a very mature win. These are the kind of games that I want to see Mota. This is the kind of coaching I want to see out of Mota. 1-0, calm, control the game. It has its moments, that's fine, but like this is just
Always going to have
nothing
moments,
much to say about it. This is how you win games
well,
in Serie
I
A.
mean,
I'm
Juve
totally
still
cool with
looked
this.
threatening too. I mean, but it wasn't like they
That's
were just
fine.
like going all out attack.
No, they're a conservative approach. I'm totally cool with that. It's the smart approach, especially when you get an early goal. Just don't be an idiot. That's
Yep.
the bottom line. And you know damn well you can't trust your center backs
No,
or
that
your
was.
midfield.
I was surprised to see them like not get scored.
TV.
I was thinking maybe they win like 2-1 here since they got the early goal. It's been a rarity, which is weird because typically Juve is that team historically who you get that one goal, they're probably just gonna lock it down. However,
Yeah,
this
Cagliari doesn't
year
score
it
a
has
lot
not
though.
been that way.
Yeah, Cagliari
Yeah,
doesn't really score
yeah. I mean,
goals.
you're having you're going against Cagliari, who's not a very great team as far as that goes. They get some weird goals from guys like Zortea, Zappa, Piccoli's
Yeah,
okay, but it's not a very threatening team,
equally.
that's for sure.
Yeah, no. No, it's a good win. I mean, this we're rolling right now. Let's see if they can keep it
Good
going. I
win
mean,
and
every
means
game's
even more for the
yeah,
table, which we'll discuss after our last game.
yeah,
Roma, Monza. Roma has been the most informed team by far, not even close.
yeah.
And they smoke Monza as they should. This is what all the top teams should be doing to a team like Monza, who's terrible. You should be smoking them. And Roma's the only team who's been doing it, which is nice. So Roma 4-0. Salamakers with a wonderful goal. Very a nice cutting out off the left side or off the right side rather. Shot with his left foot. Shomurodov,
Yeah.
Angelino, Cristante, but Roma just looked in control the whole time. Monza looked bad as they always do, but Roma actually did. They didn't tie them, they didn't draw them, make some like big mistakes. Like Roma actually cleaned up.
And they pounded them into submission. And the nice thing was they ran a lot of their backups like Shomenrudov, Baldanzi, Sule, Pisili. They got to start and they all looked awesome. They did a great job. So, well done, Ranieri. Well done, sir.
Yep. Let's go to the table, and then we'll discuss the upcoming matches.
Yeah.
We'll call it. All right, so table
Yeah.
Inter has 57 points. Napoli now falls behind with 56, so they have now given up the top spot here only by 1 point, though,
Yeah.
so they're still very close. Atalanta, as we discussed, is only 3 points off the top. They have 54, so there is now a three-horse race again. Juve is closing in a little bit with 49. It's a bit premature to talk about them, moving up, but I mean,
Well, 8
you never
points.
know. It's not a lot of points, and there's a ton of games left.
A lot of games, 8
Lazio,
points, and a lot of teams are losing. Like teams,
mm-hmm,
speaking of Lazio and Fiorentina can't get out of their own freaking way. Atalanta, it's Gasparini. He's one game is 5-0, one game he loses 1-0. He just lost last week, didn't he? 1-0.
they tied.
Something crazy like tied. Whatever. I mean,
Atlanta tied. I
like
mean, they
this
lost in
is
Champions League, but then they tied
this is
last
how he
week.
does business. So I don't trust them. Inter's the class of Serie A for sure, and Napoli's got the best coach. But I mean, we saw how messy that squad is. So if anybody's saying how amazing that Napoli squad is, I mean, you're crazy. I mean, there is overachieving. It's a solid group of guys. That's it.
Yep.
And I hope they can get it back to make the Serie A more interesting here.
We'll see. I mean, next is Lazio, 2 points below Juve at 47 points. So they
Yeah.
have still a pretty strong shout at top four. Seem a little bit more safe towards top six. However, Milan and Bologna are hovering with 41 with the game to be made. So if one of those teams does win it, they're within 3 points. That's one game away. So it's all going to tighten up. Fiorentina at 42 points. So that's really, that's pretty close. And as I was saying, Milan, Bologna 41, and Roma is a surprise team here. They're all the way up at 40 points now. So if they are to continue their streak, 2-3 more games go their way and the teams keep beating each other up, Roma could find themselves, they're definitely in European contention, and there is a outside chance of them being in a top four contention. It's outside chance, I
There is.
know, but it's possible. 9 points out of top four.
I mean, just keep winning.
They have been
There's
doing
no game
great.
they can't win. There's no game they can't win on their schedule. Every single team's beatable. Every single team's been incredibly weak and has tons of chinks in their armor.
Yep. Stay
Uh,
consistent.
they have the best player in Serie A, in my opinion. Why not?
Win the games that you should win. Tie or draw tie the other ones. Maybe sneak some wins. Okay, you lost here and there. You're probably going to be just fine. And if Roma keeps doing that, they definitely have a shot at what was very much outside chance at top four at the beginning of the season. I wonder what would have happened if they started the season with Ranieri and not. Was it De Rossi they started with? Then they went with some other guy for a bit.
Yeah. De Rossi, then Juric.
Juric, that's it. That's Juric. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if they didn't have that whole coaching debacle, how close they would be. They'd probably already be in top four.
Yeah, it's a shame. There's very few good coaches left. There's a lot of bad coaches. There's a lot of average coaches. There are very few good coaches left. Ranieri is one of them, and it shows. It shows in Napoli. It shows
It's cool seeing him back at
and
Roma
everywhere.
too. That's he's like he always said. The one thing they bring him out of retirement is Roma, and he got that chance, and he's making the most of it. I mean, this is a great way. If they actually do qualify for something special this year, it'll be a nice swan song.
Yeah, and I hope that teams everywhere can take a lesson from Roma and from Juve of the past. Like, just don't sign a guy as your coach that has very little to no coaching experience, that was a nice name as a player. Okay, they're just players. Very few of them become good coaches.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's like one or two here and there become good coaches. Otherwise, the rest of the experiments typically fail. Like you typically have to cut your teeth somewhere. Not always. There are
No,
exceptions, of course, but that's definitely the exception, not
very
the
few.
rule. Yep.
There are very few exceptions. Okay, Zidane with the most amazing team ever fielded. Of course he was going to win some. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
let
I
him
don't even
go
know if that
coach the
one
Serie B
counts.
team.
I mean, like Real Madrid is so
Doesn't
damn
count.
stacked. Like it's not like Zidane. It was like, oh my god, he took a team that was in 20th place and really brought them out of the depths. Like no, he
Well,
took Real
especially those years
Madrid.
too.
You
They were
know.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they had Ronaldo on their team too. That was a wonderful
Yeah.
team. Benzema, I mean, come on.
Yeah. You
Um,
can see the impact of a proper coach really fast, and you can see the damage that's been done. I mean, they have been on a hot streak and playing incredibly well since Ranieri's been there, and they're still in ninth place. Like what you do in the first quarter of the season is so critical. It's so critical
yeah.
to get out of the blocks. Man. Well, let's talk about it, dude. Let's talk about the big game next week.
Let's
'Cause
go
that's
to
all we really
the
care
well.
about.
Let's go through the matches here, And then let's have like a little like a finishing discussion here about like what these big teams need to do or what they're doing wrong, and while we're kind of discussing the big Napoli Inter match. So first things first, on Thursday, Milan and Bologna have their makeup game. This is going to be very, very crucial for the top four race. It is at Bologna. I don't really know what's going to happen there. I'm going to go with the 2-2 draw. That's my prediction. I think both these teams have been kind of failing when they shouldn't fail. So I'm going to just say, hey, they're both going to drop points here, and they're both going to beat each other up
It's
and
hard,
go 2-2.
incredibly hard to predict. I mean, I think Milan's going to get them 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, if
I don't know.
anything, if anybody's going to win, I would assume Milan would here. But I mean, I don't know. I can't predict Milan this season. I mean, they lost to Feyenoord. I really can't predict them.
And you have two like both nearly entirely foreign teams kicking a ball around in a critical Serie A match. I don't know. What's it mean to
Yeah, it's
them?
hard
I
to
don't know.
tell who cares. There's a handful of players who really care, and
Yeah,
that's just down to personal character. But
yeah.
it's definitely not down to team atmosphere, culture, and all that because they don't have it.
I don't have
Um,
it.
Fiorentina Lecce, you'd assume Fiorentina would win here. They are at home. I do think they're going to turn it around. I think they're going to win about 2-1 or 3-1.
Yeah, I want to see Paladino stick with the lineup for a few matches running here. It's such a mess. And I think he is running the wrong thing right now. I just think he didn't start with it soon enough. But it is what it is.
I mean, a lot of this
Even a
game too
4-3-3 would be
does
better than
depend
what
on
he's
if
got
Keane's
going.
back. You
Yeah,
know,
well, that's
like
true.
so
You're right.
we'll see if he sits out a week. But you know, honestly, if there are doubts, if he's at all confused, if he's getting headaches, if he's doing anything like that, that's kind of not great for concussive signs. He should sit out. It's not worth
Sit
risking
him
him.
out. It's Lecce.
Yeah,
Sit him out. It's Lecce. They should
yeah.
beat Lecce without Keane. Keane's
Of
been
course they should. Of
terrific.
course they
Yeah, they should
should.
beat him with that. Yeah, you sit the guy out. You don't want to get him fucked up for his own sake and for your team going forward for the rest of the season.
Yep. And the national team. He's definitely our best
Yeah.
shot along with Retegui.
Oh,
Speaking of Retegui,
no doubt.
Atlanta, Venezia. I think Atlanta's going to continue the small streak
Yeah.
here. I don't think
Yeah, me
Venezia is
too.
going to surprise him. I'm going to go 3-0, 3-1.
I agree with you.
All right,
Let's
big
skip this
game.
one. We'll
You want to
finish
skip
with that
it?
one.
Yeah, right. All right.
Yeah, let's skip it.
Udinese, Parma. I hate to say it. I just really don't care too much. If I had to add a prediction onto this one, I'm going to go Udinese again. They've been pulling out these kind of weird wins. I'll go 2-1 Udinese.
Udinese's a good team. They're
They're
well
solid.
coached. They're organized. They're physical.
Yep.
They're
Boban and
tough team
Luca
to
are
play,
really good
man.
players.
Yeah. Yeah, they got. I mean, Devon's experience. He's a seasoned veteran. He
Boban's
knows what he's
classy. He's a
doing.
classy
He
player.
is. He's a classy player for sure. These are good Serie A players.
Yep. No, I like Boban a lot. I think he's been awesome. And Luca, I mean, I've think some teams should take a chance on him back in this winter mercato. I think his stock is only going to go up further.
Yeah, good.
He's tall,
I hope he
strong,
doesn't.
he's young.
I actually hope he doesn't go to an Italian team. I want him to play somewhere.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, if
He
he goes
goes to
somewhere else, it'd be
Milan or
good.
Juventus.
Yeah, but what if
The
he goes
fans are
to
going to
Napoli?
crash
What if
him.
he goes to Napoli?
Great. Then that'd be
Awesome,
perfect.
right?
That's the
And then
kind of player
him
that
and
the kind
Lukaku
of
can
front
share
man that he
time.
likes.
Now you're good,
Yes, that's what needs to happen. But
right?
because Conte's the only coach at a bigger club that will
Yeah,
actually
actually
play
play
him.
him exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Monza Torino. I think Torino's gonna take him down. Probably closer game. It could be a tie, like a 1-1, but I kind of see Torino winning a 2-1, something like that.
Oh yeah, no, Torino's definitely beat Monza. I mean, Torino's been pretty good. I mean, they've been pretty good all season. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like them and Udinese here, very similar. They're
Hmm.
very similar style teams. They're just really organized, tough teams to
Yep.
play.
Torino's finally running some Italians. They got Casade now, who they're actually giving the starts to, and
They
they
got
got
three.
Biraghi. So I actually
Yeah.
like all those, all of their Italians. I like,
Mhm.
I think they're quality. Biraghi's good. Casade's a young kid with potential, and Ricci is one of the better players around right now. So I think that I like the Italians they have right now. And so it's a little more fun for me to watch since I keep tabs on those guys.
Same.
But yeah, they're good. Genoa, Empoli. I think Genoa wins this one. Empoli, I've got no faith in for sure. And Genoa's been looking really good ever since Vieira. Vieira looks good.
Yeah, I like. I think next year when they start with Vieira, you'll see Genoa in the same kind of spot as Udinese and Torino are this year. They're gonna be just a little bit
Yes.
bumped up the
Top
table a
half
little
of the
bit more.
table, something like that.
Yeah, they play very similar to those teams, anyways. They're gonna make a couple decent. I guess they got a small cash injection, but they got a cash injection from another investor guy.
Good.
I
Yeah.
didn't read too much into it, but yeah,
Good man. Genoa's a nice
it's
historical team.
yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that it's a good team to get behind if you're an investor, and it's a team that should be doing better than they are.
First Scudetto ever. I guess it probably wasn't called the Scudetto back then, right? But they were technically the oldest team, right? And the first winners of it, I believe.
And they're the fourth most successful after the big
Yeah.
three.
So it would be
They
very
have
cool to
9.
bring that team out of the shadows again. That'd be very, very cool.
They're actually they have 9, I think. So it would actually be cool if they could get one and just be
Yeah,
that. You want to be that coach that gets the
get that
10th.
star, man. That'd be
You get
amazing,
that
right?
star. Yeah,
That'd be
you're the coach that
amazing.
put the first star on the logo. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what they do in the off season. That's gonna we'll see, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
doubt they're gonna get the Scudetto nails. But what if they keep slowly year by year chipping away a couple
I mean,
spots? You know?
Napoli did it. Not Napoli didn't go crazy. They definitely spend a little bit more. People give De Laurentiis shit, but I mean, the reason they've been competitive since they came up. So Napoli, Juventus, and Genoa all came up from Serie B at the same time. And the difference between the two, and so Genoa had Gasperini for a bit, so they stayed kind of respectable for a while. Then they kind of tanked it. And well, Napoli stayed up at the top the whole time, and it's about money. It really is. They had good scouting, good players. They did that whole thing. Genoa didn't. So something's up, But if the cure is money, which it surely seems to be, especially these days,
Yeah, for
then
sure.
throw more money at the program. That's it.
Well, hopefully the injection works. But yeah, no, for this game, I got Genoa. Let's move to a team who's after they have the match off with Milan, they have a game against Cagliari, Bologna. Bologna
I think
Cagliari.
Bologna is the win there. I could see them blowing this
I
because
could
they
see
just
them
suck so much
drawing both
ass.
games. I could see them just drawing
They've
both
already
games.
they've had a rough couple weeks. I think they're going to get this one.
You think they're gonna lose to Milan but beat Cagliari?
Yes.
I can see that. I'm gonna go tie. I think they tie Milan 2-2. They tie Bologna or Cagliari 1-1.
Oof.
I don't know. I'm a little bit soured on them right now.
I mean, you have every right to be. I mean, it's Italiano. You can pretty much guarantee his team's going to be a sloppy
Yeah,
mess.
and then
So
for a couple weeks they're like let light fire again, and then they'll drop off again.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like I said when we were talking about him at the beginning. It's at a certain point in the year they were, it's like, hey, he's taking this team and he's
Yeah, I was
building them
impressed.
back up with
I
all
was
these losses.
impressed.
He's doing a good job. Now it's like right back to Italiano. Where you're like,
I think
God
their team is
damn,
like
again, dude.
bad. They have a couple
Oh, it
couple
is bad.
players
Yeah.
who have like come out of the woodworks and look good this year. But I think objectively the team is bad. I mean, they had their best players taken last year, and their
Yeah.
coach. They're a bad team, and
Their
I was
their
impressed with
defense
Italiano.
sucks.
Yeah,
The defense sucks, and for everyone, creaming over Bukuma and Lakumi, just these guys are bad. They're not good. And you can see how Mota coaches at Juventus. You can see why their defense looked good last year, and you can see why
he's a very
Calafiore is such
conservative
a
coach.
damn good player. Yeah, Mota's a super conservative coach, and they had Calafiore. So that's all gone. Now you have a crazy madman at the wheel, and you don't have a world class talent at the back line or top class. I'm not saying world class, top class talent at the
Yeah,
back line
top
anymore.
class. Yeah.
You got two average guys.
You see, people were giving him flack this week
Oh,
because Juan Bissaka beat him and got a cross in. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, wait a minute. People are giving Cagliari. People are giving this guy flack
oh,
for letting in a cross. Like every single game, side backs let in 3, 4, 5, 6 crosses, no matter who the side back is. Name me a game that you got that anybody's watched where the side back hasn't let in a cross and they just shut somebody down the entire time, letting 0 crosses. Name me the last time you've seen a defensive
oh.
masterclass of side back. I
I
can't name
haven't
you
seen
one.
a defensive
Yeah,
masterclass
so come
ever
on now.
since I don't know pre 2012. I haven't seen a defensive. I mean, even when we had BBC, those I wouldn't consider those defensive masterclasses, not based on the era I grew up watching.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know
Those
that
those type of
I
players do not exist, in my opinion,
no, and I
anymore.
love that team, but that's that yeah, defensive masterclass. I mean, truly, I haven't seen those since like the Maldini days, Cannavaro days. No,
Yep, I would
and the
agree.
last masterclass I truly saw, because even at the end of Maldini, he wasn't the
No.
Maldini. The Cannavaro World Cup run
Heck
that was
yes.
a
Yep.
masterclass.
It was
That
awesome.
was I was literally watching a
Ballon d'Or
defensive
winning,
master.
man. Ballon d'Or winning.
Yeah, yeah. So after that, no, that's I haven't seen one of those since 2006.
Roma, Como. This is a massive game. Both these teams are in
Yeah,
very, very good form. Como has been
Como got him last
pretty
time,
dang
right?
on fire. I don't know. I can't remember, but Roma has
They're the
been
only
doing
team to
great.
beat them.
This is
Hold on,
big.
I gotta look this up. Yeah, I gotta look this up. I think they're the only team to beat them since Ranieri has been there.
No
I
way.
think
I'm
that's
sure they've
it's
lost
yeah,
other
yeah.
games,
No, no,
right?
no. Well, not in Serie A.
Como
Oh no,
Monza,
Milan
Roma
did.
Parma.
Milan did in the Coppa Italia.
Right, but in Serie A, let's see.
In Serie A, though. Okay.
Roma Genoa, Roma tied. They won, tied, won. Yes,
Como was
Como
the only
no, Como
team.
beat them in 2-0,
Como
December
was the only
15th.
team to have beaten them since Ranieri has taken over.
Well,
They have
Atalanta
drawn
beat
or
them
won their
2-0
games.
in December 2nd. When did Ranieri take over?
When was that? When was that game that you just saw?
Como was December 15th. Atalanta was December 2nd. So I wonder, I don't know when he took over.
Yeah. Ranieri. When did Ranieri
Looking
take
it up.
over? Yeah, you got to.
November
Scudetto.
2024. So they did lose to Atalanta.
Okay, they lost that to Atalanta.
I mean, it's not a
So,
lot. It's
but
not a lot of stuff.
regardless,
There's only one other, but yeah,
he hasn't lost since December, right?
yeah,
And it was to Como, in Como. But this is in Rome. This is a different place.
yeah. I mean, that's
Como's
because
a tough place
he
to
was on
play.
on a
You
losing
got
streak there, like before he came in. But yeah, his first game was against Napoli, and they lost to Napoli, but they looked good. It was 1-0 hard fought game. They lost to Atalanta, and then boom, they took off from there. That's
yeah,
right.
and Como's a tough place to play. You got Keira Knightley and Michael Fassbender. All these major
Yeah,
celebs.
that's what
And
makes it
those
hard,
guys
huh?
care about this shit more than the actual, pressure of the game. They're like, oh man, I might end up on someone's Instagram page. I hope I
Yeah,
don't
right.
suck today. So that probably puts more pressure on them when they have to go play in Como. So now they're
Yeah,
playing at
right.
home in Rome. You know, I
This is a
mean,
big
pressure's
game.
off.
I don't know what to say here. I'm going to give the edge to Rome. I think they do 2-1 here just because of
Yeah,
home field advantage. I think if it was in Como, I actually would give the advantage to Como. Como's been on fire of
really,
late. Yeah, and I think Como's just like I think Como's the scariest team for any big team to play right now.
I agree.
I think they could care less about who you are or they have they're not intimidated by I don't give a crap at all. And their young guys and their new signings are performing. I mean, Diallo's
That
performing.
Gallo,
Nico
yeah,
Paz
whatever his name,
is still
he's good.
great. Like, their guys perform.
Yep, and I really like the who's the French guy they picked up?
Kakare.
Yeah, Kakare. I like him.
Yep,
He's a
no,
good man.
good signings all around. Good signings all around.
Mm,
So yeah, I think Roma pulls it off. I would not be surprised to see it go the other way though.
I wouldn't either.
Lazio Milan,
Good
one of the other
game
big
here.
games here. This is huge. This is a big top four
This is in
game
Milan. This is
in
in
Milan.
San Siro.
In Milan. Yep. So they have
Eh,
Bologna and Lazio back to back. They're two of their biggest top four rivals here. If Milan doesn't
these are
clean
the
up
games they
this,
get through.
I think they're done for the top four push.
Same with Lazio. Same with Lazio. Have done nothing but blow it, and
Bologna is not getting
it's
top four, but
now they
Lazio
got
and
to.
Milan.
Yeah, if Lazio can get through these easier games and then lose a tough one to Milan, that's fine. Problem is they stink it up against
That's
these
right.
crappy teams, and now they got to go win against Milan. Well, got to win. I
I
mean,
mean,
Milan's been incredibly susceptible all
Robella's
year
back.
to. Yeah, yes, he is.
So
How's what about Titty Castellanos? How's he doing?
I don't know if he's back. That I don't know if he was out from injury or from like yellow card
What's
accumulation.
he? What was the injury?
I don't know.
No, it's
I don't know
injury.
if it's there. Oh, it was
I'm pretty
injury.
sure
You
it's
looked it
injury.
up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm gonna look it up right now because this is important. Tati Castellanos injury. Oh, I sent a search of this injury. It's a medium grade lesion to the abductor of the left thigh, suffered in the last match against Napoli.
Gotcha. So maybe he won't be
It's a
back.
thigh. It's a thigh lesion.
Lesion depends if it's a
What's
tear
that?
or not. Depends if it's a tear. I mean, if he's got like a tear, he's probably not gonna be back. If it's a strain, he'll probably be back. So we'll see. See. Yeah, lesion just
Mm,
there's something there, but they did not specify. So we'll see.
mm.
So that's to be determined. Yeah.
I think
So
Lazio wins 2-1.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's at Milan. So I'm gonna go very boring again, guys. I'm gonna go another tie. I think Milan is gonna tie 2-2 or 1-1. Actually, I don't feel that way. I feel they're gonna tie Bologna. I don't feel that way. I think there's gonna be a winner, and
They're gonna beat Lazio.
I think Lazio's gonna win it.
You do? I actually hope Lazio wins it. I'm so bummed with that team this year.
I think Lazio's
I
gonna
couldn't
win
care
it.
less about Milan's zero Italians. I really couldn't.
Right?
I like Ravella to come back and have an impact in a big game like this. And I just hope the rest of the damn team get their head on a freaking winner or something like that. I think Pedro's gonna go off too. I love Pedro. I think he's such a good player.
Says I'll keep him
Romagnoli and Hila's
sidelined
been a good
for.
mix.
I'm just looking up Castellanos.
That's a big loss, dude. He does so
1
much up
month.
top.
1 month. So
God
he will not be
damn.
back. So he should be out for he will not be
These are
back.
major games, man. Like,
That's
what are you
big.
doing?
Yeah, that's big. So maybe I
Suck it
maybe I
up,
maybe I
man.
won't go with a Lazio win here. I'm gonna go Milan win 2-1. I'm gonna turn it around. I think
That's why the
Castellanos
80s.
is very important.
That's why the 80s were better. They had that magic powder. You just go back right back out and play.
All right, Juve Verona. I think Juve continues their streak. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
2-0. I'm gonna go.
definitely against Verona. I feel
I
very
think they're gonna do a
comfortable.
clean game. Verona has almost no threat in attack, so clean
2-0.
game.
Oh yeah, no, they're gonna pound them. Yeah, it's 2-0. Yeah, they got it back.
Yep. All right, big game. Napoli Inter.
This is the game. For me, this is the game. It shouldn't have to have come to this. Napoli have what, drawn 3 and lost 1,
Yeah,
and that's about as
their
bad as it gets in a
past five is a
critical
win,
moment of the
3 draws,
race.
and a loss, in that
Yeah,
row.
absolutely tragic performance from them. This is the game they get back on track. They have all the pieces they need to, except for one. The difference is Oliveira's back now, so Spinazzola can play that winger spot. And so, yep, you're going to lose a little bit of your pace and creativity from Neres, but you're going to get a lot of class and decision making from Spinazzola, who's been excellent. He was excellent as a winger. So I think against a team like Napoli, or I'm sorry, like Inter, he's going to be good. I really do wish you had Neres there for the bulk of this, but Neres and Spinazzola on the same side would just be fantastic to watch. But I think Conte goes back to 4-3-3. Because he got the pieces of the puzzle back in place. And I think they beat him. And I think they beat him 1-0.
Is Thuram back yet? He got a few minutes, like not this past game, but the game prior. Is he back yet? Because he wasn't even on the bench.
I don't even know, man. These guys don't ever play anymore. It's hard to say. I mean, you're lucky if your star players play half your games. It's just wild. I've never seen so many injuries in my life.
All right, it said that he came off really early, because of the game against Napoli. So were prepping him
he
a
wanted to
little
save
bit.
him.
Yeah, so because he's just in like full on recovery mode for this match. So we'll see
Yeah.
if he starts, if he subs. I'm gonna
What
guess
does
he's gonna
recovery
sub.
mode look like?
I
The
don't
guy
know.
played what? He played what? 60 minutes, and then what? Is he got to sit in an ice bath
I don't know. I
after
don't know.
60 minutes? Oh my god, these
I don't
guys,
know
dude.
what's going on, but he's going to be crucial for that game. I think that Inter, I would say,
Yeah,
with him starting, I'm going to go Inter is going to win that game 2-1. With him out, we could be headed towards a draw. I don't know. I
it was
with
a
form should suggest Inter wins this game, but
yeah.
you never know. Maybe the smartest calls will say it's going to be a hard fought draw, and then Atalanta's the team who actually gains points on both of them. Maybe that's what's actually going to happen here. I don't know. What does your
Or
gut
Inter
say?
just pound them, and my gut says I'm just going to win,
I
and they're
agree.
going to win like 2-0
2-0, 2-1.
because Napoli. When last time Napoli played them, they were defending great. Buongiorno was on fire. Buongiorno has not been playing great in the
Since he
one
came
game
back from
after
his
his
injury, he's
injury.
been okay.
1.5 games after his
Yeah,
injury. He's not great.
it's too soon.
Rachmani's
It's
been
too
a
soon.
complete fucking disaster.
Yeah.
They don't have Neres, and they saved Zombo for this game. That's fine. Although Billing did okay. Raspadori has scored in both games he started.
Yes.
So, I
Yep.
mean, you want production? He's giving you that. Does he have a presence throughout the entire time he's
No.
on the field? No.
No.
But there is a moment in each game where he will get the ball in a dangerous place, and he can usually put it away. At least he's been the past couple weeks, and that's great. Lukaku needs to have a game.
Yeah.
Lukaku, same way.
Lukaku needs to have a
Almost
game,
every
man.
assist. Well, I think the other day we are like, Lukaku's been playing like shit. I'm like, well, dude, he hasn't. He's been getting assists in every game. Yeah, but it's kind of like what I just said about Raspadori. When the ball's around Lukaku, he makes good decisions with it. But if Napoli's not swarming the opponent's net, Lukaku's not bringing the ball down to anybody that's close to him. He's not turning and making runs on defenders. He's not a big threat. He is just a big fat pig out there. But
Oh man, because I think Lukaku, he's got 8, he's got 7 assists now. I think he was at like 6 like a long time ago. I don't think he's gotten much done the past
now,
several games.
if you look at the past few games, like the Raspadori goal last game, I don't even know if they gave him assists. It's all off
No,
of his
he didn't
presence.
know that was Laboca stole it and
No, no,
Raspadori
the
ran out
game
of it.
before, the
The game
game
before,
before
the game
that, the
before.
game
Okay.
before. Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, we
It's
can talk
always.
about it. I don't think he's playing very well.
I think he does really well, and he does just fine. And he's actually one of the better guys to have up there when they're in control of the ball around the opponent's net.
Yeah, no, he's still good
He
at
has
that.
not, and at the beginning of the season, what was different was he was actually good when Napoli were breaking on their own zone on these
Yeah,
counterattacks. playing the ball back. And this is where they really lose Neres. I thought Neres and Lukaku worked really well together, much better than Raspadori and Lukaku. That's just, maybe they haven't played enough. I don't know. Who knows?
And
But
Neres,
yeah,
Neres
Raspadori
is,
doesn't work
is a
the
more
same way.
explosive player for sure. Like Neres is
Yeah,
actually explosive, and that's the difference. But
yeah, yeah. Raspadori has his tricks.
well,
No, this is a
we
major
both
game for
think
me. I
Inter
mean,
gonna win this one. I
yeah, I
think it's
do.
gonna be
I think they are.
close. I think just the nature of the game is gonna be
Yeah.
close, but I think Inter wins this one.
I would have liked to see a Napoli have been in a spot where this didn't matter if they won or lost the game, and they had every opportunity, and that's what I'm really pissed about, because that to me is a Scudetto. Scudetto is one of the provinces. They've done poorly in the provinces so far, but 12 games, a lot of games.
A lot of games left. All right. That is basically that. I think there's some Coppa Italia games coming up. We could do a
Yeah, who
brief
cares?
look at that. I mean, who's playing? You got
I never.
Inter, Lazio, Juve, Empoli. I think I could see Lazio winning and then Juve winning those matches.
I miss the
I could
days
see Inter
when.
losing that leg of the Coppa just probably because they really
uh,
focus on Napoli.
Yeah, I mean, This is like Inter's going to handle it like a mature, proper class team, like they should. I remember growing up, and the Copa was Inter Milan and Juventus playing all their backups until the final, and that's exactly how it
Yes.
should be. Now, because these teams suck so hard, i.e., Milan and Juventus, they're trying to mooch a result by saying, "Hey, we want a trophy." Where damn well when you're looking at your rack of trophies, you don't really give a shit. It's just a statistic, but like that's not a sign of a successful season. Inter's going to play their backups and probably bow out because they got too much shit to worry about. But
That's
yeah,
kind of what
I
I'm
mean,
thinking too. So
yeah,
if Lazio moves on, Juve moves on, it'll be Milan, Juve, Lazio, and Bologna. Still good teams there in the semis,
yeah,
so it'll be good games regardless.
yeah. When are
All
those
right.
games played? Midweek as well.
Yeah, those are played midweek. And then yeah, so we should know that their kind of next round of the semifinals. Milan and Bologna are waiting the winners of these games. And then
Okay.
we'll know. So and then those games get played in April, so it's a whole month off of the Copa after
Ooh,
that. So
Copacabana.
all right, that's it. We're out as always. Forza
Yeah.
Calcio. Ciao.
Ciao.